the small YouTuber behind Skyler and Friends, and I'm going to hit you with the intro. Oh, that was supposed to come out smoother. It didn't come out that smooth. We'll have to get smoother with that in the future. But on his way over is Paul from Skyler and Friends. I think he's here now. I'm realizing I might need to grab some. Hey, Paul.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Are you getting any feedback?
No, I have headphones.
Okay, sweet. So to my viewers out there, this is Paul. He is the man behind Skyler and Friends, a small YouTube channel. I think you have somewhere under 100 subscribers. He's fairly new, but one of the things I really love about him is sort of his genuine, like the joy that you put into your videos, the joy that you've shown on like a constant basis every time I've worked with you. I sent out an idea that I wanted a bunch of YouTubers to weigh in on, a bunch of small creators, and he easily had the most creative one. I like that he actually put effort into his question and answer. He added some cinematography to it, and a lot of people just kind of just answered the question. And the question was, if you had to listen to just one YouTuber for the next 6 months, who would it be?
Yep.
And I was just really impressed with that presentation. And at some point, I'll be honest, I've been lazy in terms of my editing.
It takes a lot of time.
Yeah, it does. And so I wanted to do another collaboration with them. And one of the questions I like asking YouTubers is, if someone were to come to you and ask you a question, what would you want them to ask you that people don't ask you enough of? And what would your answer to that question be? So I want to kick it off with that. What is the question you wish people would ask you more of, and what would the answer to that question be?
All right. Well, this is a really good question. I think what it boils down to, though, is what's really important in my life, and it has been for a long time, is my dogs. And that's because they're a big part of my recovery from my bone marrow disease and everything. And one of my dogs is a therapy dog. I took her through training and everything because I had to get a pacemaker when I was 25 and everything, and spaying and everything, just like randomly. So they're really important to me. So I guess the question would be, going back there, is why are your dogs so important to you? You know, why do you love your dog so much? Because sometimes it can seem kind of weird or whatever. Like, you're making dog videos, you know, like it's stupid, it's dorky, whatever. But I find it hilarious, and it's therapeutic. Like, it's funny, and they've been there for me, like through those really hard times where it's like I couldn't go outside for a year because of my immune system and everything. But it's like I had a dog, you know.
Yeah.
And so they just big part of the recovery process.
And what I would love to hear, and I think I would love for people that are on here to hear from you, is, you know, I think one of the other cool things about you is sort of your story with your dogs and the story of sort of the health issues that you've gone through. So give us like sort of your story.
All right. Well, like
there, but
yeah. Well, like a brief. I'll do a short story from I guess from when I started getting sick to now. Does that sound good?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So in 2009, I was getting ready to get married. I was engaged and everything, and I started getting sick. I just like passed out randomly one night. I got up to use the restroom, and this next thing I know, like my fiance at the time had my head in her hands, and I was bleeding and stuff. I just passed out and hit the corner of the thing, and just bleeding, and just like shaking, like, and everything. It was horrible. So from that point onward, like I started having these fainting spells, and then I stopped being able to like digest food and stuff, like where I'd get sick every time I ate. Either it'd come up one way or the other, you know. So I just started dropping weight, and I ended up getting married through this. And then I went from 175 pounds to 89 pounds in about 6.5 months. So I was in and out of the emergency room a lot. I couldn't hardly walk. I mean, like, I'm 5'10", so at 89 pounds, you know, I was like just bone. And yeah, I ended up going through a divorce at the time, like, cause she sent me a text message while I was in the hospital, like she couldn't handle it anymore, you know, being sick all the time, and we were really young. I mean, she was like 22 at the time. I think I was 25. Well, when I got the pacemaker in 2011, I was 25. So I don't know, doing the math there. You know, she was a couple years younger than me. But anywho, I understand it now, but at the time it was devastating, you know. So I had to move from there, and with my sisters sleeping on a futon, I had to get my pacemaker and everything. And just this whole time I had no insurance, so I just ended up in emergency room after emergency room because I couldn't get in to see any doctors. Like legit, like you could go to emergency rooms, but to actually get into specialists and stuff. So it took me 2 years of like just fighting, trying to survive to get on the disability. So I could get into the Barrett Center down at UC and be seen by like the hematologist and bone marrow specialist and everything. And so during that time, I learned a lot about nutrition, a lot about health and wealth, and just like about my like your overall wealth, like not like money wealth, but like wealth of life, I guess, you know. So I want to share those experiences where it's like the things that I've learned through going through all this, share it with other people. Like I said, I ended up having to get the pacemaker and a lot of other treatments and stuff, but not to go too far into that. But the dogs came in when like I said, I got my first rescue. I was trying to do the fostering, like where I was like trying to help shelters and everything. And I just fell in love with her. So I kept her, you know, and then later on, I ended up getting another one. And I was like, well, I'm going to train this one. You know, I took her through all the training and everything. And I don't know. It's just been a crazy road. There's a lot more to it than that, but it's kind of a short version.
Yeah, I think I don't have a great relationship with a lot of animals. My wife is always trying to sort of convince me that we could or should get a dog.
Yeah.
I gotta say, of all the things that have been anywhere close to convincing, you've been probably the closest so far, because I can tell you just have a really great relationship with your dogs, and I think so many people, you described it to me one day, that a lot of people have sort of dogs in their life, and
yeah,
the relationship that they have with them isn't. It's more of like they have a dog to have a dog, not to have a relationship.
Right. Yep.
You've been a really great role model for what it is to be a dog owner, in my opinion.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, they're great. They're fun, but yeah, you should totally get one. The smaller they are, the smaller the poop is. Just, you know, FYI, you know. That's why I like the little ones. And it's easier to clean up. Any messes outside, you got to scoop. It's tiny.
So the other thing I wanted to ask you about, because I am looking forward to seeing it like in person, is I know you're working on a book, and one, I wanted to ask you like, what is the book? But two, for my future authors out there that are watching, what are some of the actions or things that you've gone through to make it a reality? And I know you're not done yet.
Right. Yeah. Well, right now where I'm at is I have everything approved through like the printers department, like as far as it's been approved. I'm just like fine tweaking, making sure nothing is off, you know, no margins are off or anything like that. I want it to be the best it can be. So I should be able to, by the end of this week, I'll order proofs to make sure, you know, they look good for me, like in the physical form, and then they'll be live. So I'm right there at the finish line, which is awesome. It's taken a long time to get to where it is, you know, to launch it. But the name of it is Wiener Dog, How'd You Get So Long, which is, you know, my shirt here.
Yeah.
And it's inspired by my dogs. Penny Lane is my oldest dog, and so I wanted her name incorporated. So that's why the dog's name in the book is Penny Lane. And then Temperance is like my therapy dog, and she's a little Chiweenie, so she's a long dog also. And she rides my scooter with me, like in real life. On she has a little pouch and a little helmet and everything. So, anywho, the story is basically it's about Skyler, which is the little child in the story, and gets Penny Lane as a birthday gift. And as Penny Lane's getting older and getting longer, Skyler doesn't know why she's so much longer than all the other dogs, you know, and she sees like these different. So as it progresses, like, why did you get so long? Is it because this? Is it because that? You know, did you get stuck in the water slide? And she's like going down the slide and stuck in both ends and stuff. And then in the end, you have a great message of love and just acceptance and not judging people by what they look like or think there's something wrong with them. And so it's just a very great message of be you and love fearlessly, you know. Don't let things, so that's basically it. This is the first live I've done, so I'm very nervous if you can't tell.
I can't tell. By the way, were you able to hear that car just going by?
No.
Oh, sweet. I can just hear it. All right. That's good to know. Yeah, I can't really tell at all. I think part of it is one of the parts I've really enjoyed about these live talks is watching the chat happen as the other person is talking. So I get to kind of watch what they're doing. Now, I don't know if, do you have it set up so that you can see the chat as well?
No, I don't see it.
Are you on desktop, laptop, or phone?
Desktop. So
what you can do is, so you're in the Google Hangouts tab right now. If you open up another tab, go to my channel, you'll see I think you'll see the thumbnail for it, and it'll say live in the corner. If you click that, make sure to mute it, but you'll be able to see the chat in the little panel there.
Okay, cool. Let's see here. Videos.
I was sort of surprised you're not wearing one of your fedoras.
Uploads. Oh, okay. I'm on uploads. All videos. You're on live stream.
You find it?
There it is. Show. Cool.
Nice.
All right.
Now, do you ever live stream on your channel?
All right. Can you hear me now?
I can still hear you.
There we go. And then I'm going to mute the video.
Yeah. The one that heads up is I would recommend, I know I get confused when I look at the video on YouTube because there's like somewhere between like a 5 to 10 second lag.
Oh, yeah.
So I would say if you're trying to like watch me as I'm talking to you, like I have 2 tabs, so I'm going to do a quick screen share so you guys can see what I'm looking at.
Okay, cool.
But I have 2 things open right now. I have the Google chat up here because my like just above it, like right above where I'm showing my clicker. And then over here, I have another tab open for the chat.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yep.
Open it in a new window.
So the next question I wanted to ask, so the other day, so my friend Ty Speaks, who I was going to have as a co-host today, and then we miscommunicated. One of the questions he asked on his channel that I really loved, and as I kept thinking about his question, I kept coming up with sort of more answers to it, was if you could have lunch with anyone living or deceased, who would it be? Say like an hour or something. And I found myself answering that question for a bunch of different people. And I feel like it would kind of depend on the mood or in what way that I'm trying to grow in that amount of time.
Right.
Which would sort of influence my choice of who I would want to talk to. So who are the couple of the people that you would want to interview? Maybe the first one being a family member, maybe one being like a celebrity or a leader or I guess famous person that's accomplished things.
Well, right off the bat, I'd have to say Michael Jackson. I mean, because he's awesome. He's just a musical genius. You know, I was growing up, like when I was little, growing up, I was obsessed. Like I would dance in the mirror. You know, I'd be like 3rd grade, like making my mom take me to the store to buy a white shirt and stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't know. He was just so wild. You know, but just the move is just to get all that and those experiences he had to talk about. That would be crazy. Another person. We talk about, like, as far as you make a good point, and I thought about like as far as what were you trying to do, where are you going, you know, like business aspect. And like Gary Vee, I mean, anything he touches pretty much turns to gold, you know what I mean? Like to have an hour of that guy's time would be priceless, you know. As far as living. Another person was Paul McCartney. Those 3 like come because I just love the Beatles. Michael Jackson and the Beatles. I don't know.
I'm
Some
almost
about it. Love the upbeat grooves, you know.
given your answer set. I'm almost surprised that we don't see more music or. Well, wait, you play ukulele or something? Is that
Yeah,
right?
I play the guitar and the drums and the bass and the ukulele. I just started the ukulele this year so I could do the children's book song, like as far as like for the children's books, I wrote a song like doing that and learned to play it for that reason, and it's just cute, so it worked. You're over here, like I have my monitor over here, so like every now and then I look over and I'll see you.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's hard to not talk to like the screen and like the
Yeah,
person you want to versus the actual camera. That's why
right.
I have like both of our faces about 2 inches below my camera so that I don't have to deal with that.
That'd be awesome.
Let's see. So I think you kind of answered it, but I, I don't know that I directly asked this question. Is what is the purpose of your YouTube channel? Like, what made you start it?
Well, I started it originally just to kind of get out there more because I wanted to do something that was outside of myself. Like I'm a very anxious person. When I was going through all my health issues, I developed severe panic attacks because I was like I'd pass out randomly. So it's like you can't tell yourself, oh, my heart's gonna be okay. You know, I'm not gonna pass out because I was. So it's like I got a lot of anxiety and I ended up getting more and more just in myself, you know. So I wanted to do something that brought me out of my shell and just helped me because I love doing all kinds of things like being creative and being silly and goofy and acting and you know just dancing, whatever it may be. But I'm limiting myself by being afraid of what other people think and just so it's just that's where my message be you know comes in and just be yourself, you know, and just love people not expecting anything in return, you know, love fearlessly and just go for it. So I started doing videos as like a goofy character with like a wig and like just to get myself on the video just because I couldn't get myself to do it. Even like just filming it, not thinking I'm going to post it would give me anxiety. Like, so I just like, I kept doing that and then I'd post it, you know, just goofy. And then finally I did some videos where I didn't have that and just be myself. And so I'm just slowly, you know, getting myself out there more because you can't do anything if you're not out there, you know. So, and then with the children's book coming out, I'm going to be doing school readings and stuff. So I was like, I definitely need to push myself to be out there more and, you know, just don't care so much about what other people think and just do it.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things I think that I really love about you is how genuinely joyful you are. Like when you're out of your shell, like it's a great experience as a viewer. And I think I don't remember if I ever told you this, but one of the things like really simple, really small is that I really enjoy talking in accents sometimes.
Yeah.
And you know, even my wife gets a little bit annoyed by it sometimes. So I don't do it that often. I have to be in a really good mood, but every once in a while, I've started off my live stream or like right after the intro to one of the videos with like an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice or a Yoda voice or a Indian accent or like there have been a bunch of things that have sort of broken out, and it's really because of you. So I've seen you
Yeah.
be goofy, and I feel like
That's cool.
that's absolutely I think the hardest thing for any young YouTuber to deal with is just like being the happiest goofiest version of yourself on camera because there's like I'd like to think I've stepped outside my comfort zone quite a bit, but at the same time there's still a lot that I haven't shared. There's still a lot that I'm unwilling to do or talk about or do in front of a camera.
Yeah.
So
I
do
know what you mean.
you have any voices or dances or anything that it would be a stretch for you to share with us today that you can think of? You know
Man.
Michael Jackson moves?
Yeah, I do some Michael Jackson moves. I do his voice like stuff like his, you know, his how would you call that? His noises? Yeah, like those things. I do those. I I do some different impressions. You want me to do one? And let's see here. mouth's all dry. Be like, "Someone, just be jerked out." Oh, come on now, don't be ignorant. You got just be jerked out. You know, like something like that. My mouth's so dry. But yeah. So there's one for you.
That was awesome. Yeah, because he has that like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like
right.
Jabbing you in the ear with his voice.
Yeah, it's like jazz with your mouth almost. Like he would like put down tracks like with his vocals, with the bass, the drums, everything. Like he would think of it all in his head and then do that with his mouth. And a lot of the songs, like you would think it was like a beatbox or something, but it's actually his mouth. He beatboxed. A lot of people don't know that, but it was really cool.
Oh, so there's some questions in the chat here.
All right.
What I'm seeing is how is your health right now from Abstract Possibility?
I'm pretty stable right now. Sorry, hair on my tongue. I'm up to 140, so that's awesome. I'm on like a really strict diet. I have like 18 allergies, like food allergies. So I have a lot of things I can't eat. Like when I got down so low, hate when a hair gets on your tongue. But when I got down so low, it just like shut down all my organs and everything. So I had to start from like I did liquid diet for a year. I did the TPN feedings in the arm, baby food for 6 months. Like I had to slowly build myself back up and eat like food, like more and more and more. So where I'm at now, like I can eat chicken again and everything, which is awesome. So my stamina is not where it used to be, but also getting older. So, you know, that comes with age, I guess, too. But I'm really stable. I'm really well for the most part. I just watch what I eat. Really, I cook everything at my house. That's another thing I like to share with people is like little tips and tricks, kind of like with eating healthy, and like it doesn't have to be super expensive to eat all natural, or like it doesn't have to be elaborate to cook it at home. And it can actually save you money versus eating out. You know, so if that answers your question, I don't know.
So Abstract Possibilities, pop back in the chat and let us know if you answered your question the way you wanted. Question from Gemma Grace. Skyler, how do you feel being interviewed?
It's really interesting. Like a little overwhelmed, a little like shy, I guess, but overall it's cool, and I feel good to do it and to get it out there. It's going to help me open up more, for sure.
I imagine she's asking because she's going to be on this channel and
oh, cool, awesome.
Wait a second, I'm trying to answer in the chat. Alex is asking for accent. I'm asking if you have any specific requests. Skyler inspiration, loving the hat. Thank you, Gemma. Let's see. Paul, can we meet some of your dogs?
Oh yeah. Do you want me to grab some?
Absolutely. Do you want me to grab some? Absolutely.
Let me go in the other room. I'll be right back.
So now he comes back. I'm glad to hear you doing their attitude's awesome. Southern. Oh, you want to hear his Southern? Well, yeah, I'll ask him that when he comes back. Paul, another.
I think the others that I didn't bring in are getting jealous.
Paul, another question that came up. It was actually a request for you.
Yeah.
A Southern accent that you can give to us, that you can introduce your dog with a Southern accent.
A Southern accent. Let's see here. I reckon this right here is Mija, and Temperance right here. This is my service. animal right here. She's my therapy dog. I don't know how good of a southern accent it is.
Pretty good.
Y'all. Here she is, y'all. She has huge ears, 5.5 pounds, but she's very long, as you see. She's a Chiweenie, so it's a dachshund and a Chihuahua. And Mija here, she always walks around with her tongue sticking out. So she's on every page of the children's book with her little tongue stuck out somewhere, like hidden. Yeah. So, and
Waldo.
Yeah, sort of like that, you know, just like hidden a little bit. And then Temperance is the one that rides my scooter with me. She has the helmet and the doggles and everything. She loves to ride. As soon as I get out her little bag that she rides in, she like starts doing a little dance. It's hilarious.
Really? I was gonna say I wanted to show people, so I was on your Instagram earlier.
Oh, cool.
What?
I said, oh, cool.
And a bunch of I wanted to show you guys. So here's a pretty fun Instagram of a lot of them are pictures of his dogs.
Oh, cool.
And a bunch of I wanted to show you guys. So here's a pretty fun Instagram of a lot of them are pictures of his dogs.
Stop it.
Okay. Can you guys see my screen right now?
Yes.
What was it? My favorite one. I love how the ears like fold. Now,
yeah, it's funny. Like they're so long, they'll do that sometimes, like naturally on one. So then I'll just take the other one and put it like that. It looks hilarious.
Now, where did you get these sunglasses?
That offline. I pretty much get everything off Amazon. Amazon Prime, I love it. You know, free shipping. But
the tongue sticking out you were talking about, right?
Yeah. And sometimes it's just like super long out there. But yeah, they're so small. Like I'll get extra small, but then I gotta customize them for them because they're still too big.
This right here, like this looks like professional. Like, what did you do here?
I just upgraded all my lighting. I just got 3 new soft boxes, including a hair light. So it's really going to help me up my picture game, I think. And I also started using my old camera again. I thought it would be like obsolete. I have an old Sony. It's 10 years old, but it's 18 megapixel, which is insane to me. Like I knew it's just crazy that it still works as good as it did because I have been using my phone and I busted that back out and I was like, this actually still takes better pictures than my phone does.
What kind of phone do you have?
I have a Motorola Z Play, which takes really good pictures, but you can't like control everything like you can with a manual, you know, like changing your aperture or your ISO or anything. Yeah. At least not on mine, I can't.
Are those fake earphones or are those real ones?
Those are real. Yeah, those are American Girl doll. I had my girlfriend buy them. I was like.
The other thing I wanted to ask them that I wanted you to share about is I know you said like you make balloon art for people.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, is another thing that I was thinking, okay, like I want to, you know, promote my book, like make it like, you know, memorable, like have children join in with, you know, the fun and everything. I was like, what did I love as a child? It's like, I love balloons, you know, I still love balloons. Get one for my birthday or something. But so I was like, well, I can make balloon animal wiener dogs because one of the pages in the books is, did you get, are you a balloon animal that came to life? And there's, you know, a carnival guy there, you know, making balloon animals, and it's like a transitional thing where the balloon becomes Penny Lane. So I was like, well, I'm going to learn how to make balloon animals. So I learned how to make balloon animals so I can make balloon animal wiener dogs for the children and everything. My first event of doing that will be next Saturday, June 16th. I'll be doing that at Pet Once. So that'll be fun for the kids, and I'm going to be handing out stickers and stuff to kind of promote the book. And it's going to be a superhero themed thing, so they're going to be dressed up as some superheroes.
What kind of stickers do you give out?
I just made these little stickers that says "Be You," and it's Penny Lane is the U. I'm sure you've seen it on the Instagram there.
These are
similar to that, but not that one. Yeah. Yep, that's the sticker I made. So I'm going to hand those out to the little kids, and along with them, I'm going to make balloon animals, and it's going to be fun. Take the dogs.
That's exciting.
And yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. The Hamilton has a lot of stuff actually that goes on downtown. So it's pretty cool. It's called Alive After 5. But they have it, I think, the first Thursday of every month, I believe. Yep. But then they have like a different theme. This theme is superhero.
Now, what did you say the organization was that you're presenting to?
You mean like as far as that I'll be in with?
Yeah, you said Live After 5.
Live After 5. That's Hamilton County, or not county, Hamilton, Ohio. They have the township has an organization that has events, and they do it like this very artsy area. Like we have a lot of like the metal statues everywhere, and murals on the walls and stuff, which is really cool. And they're trying to make it more and more just I guess like artsy and just friendly, and get kids involved and everything. So they have these events every month. And you go downtown and like all the shops open up their doors, and they'll have like candy or like food, or like, the snow cone people are there, and they'll have like the opera people or the ballet will put on a little skit over here. And it's pretty cool. It's down the whole main street, and they'll block off the roads. And I'll be in the Pet Once store, which is Pet Once is a store that sells dog food and treats and everything. And they make it there. So it's real fresh and great dog food, but and I'm going to be doing it inside there. So I'll drive my scooter up if the weather permitting with temperance and everything. I got the sign on the back where it's got my book, which is awesome. So that's, I guess, where the wiener dogs come in is, I just wanted to have something to give to them, that incorporated everything. And so I was like, well, the book, my childhood, like everything fits in. We'll do the balloon animals.
Yeah. Now, if you take this sort of looking at it like if Gary Vee were looking at it, and you were looking at it sort of like a business, where do you see yourself going with all of this?
It's a great question. As far as it's becoming more clear, like as it's coming along, but at the first I didn't know. Like I had a great idea for a book, and it's been sitting in my head for a couple years, and I never really was at one place long enough to get it down. So I moved around a lot. So I would say like, I want to make, obviously the book's coming out, and I want to build this community where people can feel comfortable to be themselves, share their stories, and just do what they want to do, be happy with themselves. So, I mean, I don't really, go ahead.
When you say community, are you talking more like a physical, like a community in Ohio, or are you talking about like an online?
No, online community. Yeah. Like just an inclusive like community online where, like kind of what you do, like these interviews, for instance, like, and you're connecting people. And I think that's awesome. It's a great idea. I like that community idea where you're connecting to like-minded and like-hearted people, as Lily May says, like-hearted. I like that. So you can make a difference. Like I want to make an impact. I don't really have like, oh, I want to be like a millionaire in 5 years. Like that's not my goal. Like, but I just want to be able to do like what I'm doing. Like doing photography, doing children's books, speaking, like those kind of things. I want to do more in the way of inspirational content, like using my story. Because there's a whole lot to it that like someone could relate to every part of it, I think, whether it's getting a divorce or like suffering with health issues or heart issues or whatever it might be, dog training, but like I think I could help, and some people could relate to the different stories. So it's just a matter of getting over my shyness and just getting out there and doing what I'm doing now, but just more and more.
Now, what do you do outside of YouTube and writing books and things?
I just man, I have I have 3 dogs. My girlfriend has 2 dogs, so I do a lot of like dog care. But no, before I got sick, I was doing plumbing, electric, and remodeling and stuff like that. And after I started getting better and everything, I started to kind of like tip my toes back into that some. And it's just like my body's not meant for that anymore. You know what I mean? And so I'm kind of at that point where it's like, I don't know what I can do to contribute, so to speak, like at a large scale, but this is something I can contribute is like what I've learned, my knowledge, you know, everything. So I'm kind of going in this all in with like, I mean, I don't have like a whole lot of sources of income or anything like that. But I have limitations obviously, but I don't know. I want to make a difference in other people's lives. So something traumatic doesn't have to like happen to them, like to wake them up, be like, life is so precious. Live it now because you don't know, and love who you know you have now because you never know when it could be gone. I mean, you know, so it's like, it's that whole thing at a larger degree. But you know how like you get into high school, you get out, and you don't realize how good you had it until you're out a couple years. It's like that, but on a much huger scale, and you're dead. So, you know, there's no coming back. So, you know, live now. So that's just what I want to get out is that kind of message. So to answer your question, that's pretty much what I've been doing is illustrating, writing, focusing on getting my photography better, things of that nature. Just been dedicating to that and just getting myself better health-wise, you know, work, exercising, and doing all that good stuff.
What for people that are coming over and subscribing to your channel, I know there's been at least one or two, I think, that have come over.
Oh, thank you.
What can they expect from your channel in the future? Like, what's your upload schedule? What kind of content can they expect?
All right. Well, I'm going to start with like doing one day a week from here on out, like at least. And then I want to get more in the front of the camera, like what we're doing now. Not just my dogs. I mean, I love my dogs to death, don't get me wrong. But I do want to do like some serious, like inspirational kind of like, you know, deep dive kind of stuff where I can help someone. Like whatever they are interested in, like they need help in, they can comment, they can send me messages on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and I would be happy to do a video like answering those questions and everything. Or obviously silly videos, dog silliness. I'm going to be doing children's book readings coming up in the fall, so I'm going to record those and put them on there. That'll be fun. I have little dog stamped that I'm going to be using their paw prints on and photographing the books at the events. So that'll be hilarious. I'll be putting those on there. So I guess silly dog videos, great inspirational content, health and things like that. Just anything that's motivational and is going to improve your life, whether it be a smile or, you know, a tip. That's just kind of what I'm about. So hopefully that answers it. I need a niche down maybe a little bit more, but it's like I'm so hard with that because I'm not niche. You know, I'm like, or niche, whatever you want to say. You know, like I've got so many things that I love, like, but it all boils down to be you. So that's kind of what I'm trying to harness around. Just be yourself. You know, ask me anything. I will do the best to answer it. You know, if I don't know, I'm great with finding stuff out. I'm great at research, and everything. So.
Yeah, and Gary Vee is always telling people to like niche down, like have even more and more and more specific, like thing that you do specifically.
Yeah.
You know, it's when you're just genuinely excited about a lot of things, it's kind of hard to do that. Like I think my channel started with just like sort of motivational / inspirational messages daily. Originally, it was sort of meant for my students as a demographic, but over time, I've realized that the demographic that people actually watch it through is more like my age. So apparently, it's either going over the heads of the students that I'd originally meant it for, or I'm sharing so much personal stuff that it's more relevant to my age group. But
yeah,
like in our first couple of years as creators, I think we have the the freedom to experiment creatively, and I think that's been a really fun process. Like my very out the first video that was super out of the box, out of the rest of the things that I'd been making, was I made a Gucci Gang remix.
Yeah.
And it had the same sentiment to it, which was that I wanted people to get outside their comfort zones, get out there and create.
Yep.
And also point out the fact that the idols and the role models that they have out there are not always the best. And I
Right.
that I could prove myself as being more talented lyrically, at least in one popular song.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I really like that.
So I think I'm gonna continue sort of experimenting. One of the things I really want to do this summer, and I think I've been reinvigorated since doing the evolution of dance thing, is I want to go into like Boston, which is the city like 30, 45 minutes from me, and just like in a weekday, when they are like right when like all the people are out there, like have a person with a camera follow me around and just like dance in public. So it's like
that'd be great.
It's very much out of the sort of genre that I talk about a lot, which is I do a ton of talking on this. Probably because I'm egotistical and like to hear myself talk, but I think just the idea of spreading joy, similar to you, is really what I'm interested in. Seeing people break past the things that slow them down and stop them in life.
Absolutely.
So I guess another question I have on that is, I was thinking about this today, is what do you think is one of the things that humans, like in general, or I guess we could say Americans, since it's mostly American people, besides our friend Gemma and Libby over there in the UK, what do you think that Americans probably struggle with the most, like internally, that you would love to see like the majority of people freed up from?
Comparing themselves to other people, I would say, especially with social media. Like, it's awesome, but it can also be really bad. It's a double-edged sword. Anything that has that much power is going to be a double-edged sword, I think. So you see all these people like living huge, awesome lives, and you're like, I want that, I need that now. And you might see someone and be like, oh, they had it overnight, but you didn't see all the stuff that was behind the scenes leading up to that. So I think that disconnect there, like knowing that we can't all make it, and that's goes back to what I was saying. I'm not trying to be a millionaire here, what I mean? Like, we can't all make it like millionaires. We can't all be Will Smith, what I mean? We can all love Will Smith, most people do, but we can't all be him, So we have to find what we love and do it to the best of our abilities, be happy with a day-to-day life, find enjoyment in the little things, because if not, if you don't enjoy the journey, you're never going to enjoy it. If you even did get it, it's not going to be enough. So I guess that's the disconnect I'd want them to get, is that what you see on social media isn't always reality.
Yeah.
Take it with a grain of salt. Even the best lives in the world that you see on there, they have their own problems that you're not seeing, maybe. Or, you see so many people that end up committing suicide. Robin Williams, rest in peace. Like, he was awesome, but he had severe depression and everything. I mean, that's like, and people think, oh, he had it made, he was a great life, everything. But so lose that disconnect of thinking that they have it together because they have 1 million followers. That's not the case. And people that have 1 million followers and they do have that depression, I want them to be able to speak up and feel like they can be themselves, be like, look, I am this powerful like person in Hollywood or whatever, but I have these problems. Let me talk about them, and just stop that stigma of, oh, I have anxieties, I can't like do this, I'm ashamed. Like, I want that to stop.
Yeah, I think and I feel like Instagram is probably one of the worst social medias for that, because it's well, I guess now that there's more video involved in it, it's getting a little bit away from that. But I mean, Facebook and Instagram in college, those were some of the greatest sources of social anxiety for me sometimes. Not really social anxiety, but like those moments when I'd just be looking at my classmates or looking at my friends in high school and how they're moving on, or they were dating so and so, and it was always so hard to watch sometimes people getting where you want it to be, but you never hear or see the story behind that. So it's so true.
Right.
Really easy to create a good Facebook or Instagram post that makes you look like you're living it, and meanwhile you're crying after you take the picture. I think that's one of the things I've really enjoyed about YouTube is, and especially live streaming, is there's not much I can hide here.
Yeah.
I mean, I can hide some things, but I've just decided it's better not to, because there's a lot of inauthentic personalities out there. And so if I can bring some authenticity to social media, if I can bring some truth and bring some sort of introspective opinions and thoughts on things, then I'm making it a better place. And
absolutely.
I see our youth every day takes more and more time on social media. And when I was in the high school, I was the third person in my high school to be on Facebook in 2006.
Oh, wow.
Been with Facebook for not quite since the beginning, but like since its early days.
Yeah.
Really interesting watching how social media has totally changed everything about what we do. But then again, I feel like middle school to high school, things change. So it all transformed into social media as we all got older.
Yeah, it's super powerful. It's nuts. I mean, never would have thought you go from that to being in front of Congress. Like the Mark Zuckerberg. Like that's unfathomable. The power that's there. I mean, that just shows the power.
Ooh, Alex has a question. He's got his hand up.
All right.
I have a good question. Alex, hit us with it, man. On a side note, Gemma Grace says that Robin Williams was also autistic.
Really?
I did not know that.
I know that. He was amazing, whatever. Genius.
Hi, Jelly Duck 100. By the way, Paul, something I wanted to introduce you to that I mean, you can sort of introduce yourself to it, but the hashtag Iamacreator. It's all word. Have you found that?
No, I've seen it just yesterday. I think it was on. I don't know if it was on yours or on Ty Speaks, but it was one of your guys that had seen it on there, and I was like, I need to look into that. So yeah, go ahead and tell me about it.
So I know. Let's see. I'm not even sure how many people are watching. Oh, whoa! 11 people are watching right now. That's nuts. By the way, this is literally the first time I'm asking all day, because I think this is I think the highest amount of people I've ever had watching a live stream ever is 11.
Really?
So that hits 12. That'll break my record.
There you go. We need to bump it.
I invite you.
I've got more dogs, and I can juggle.
I really try not to do this often because I hate watching people do it, but it does help us out. If you would be so kind as to either hit the like button if you're liking what you're seeing, or hit the dislike button if you're not feeling what we're throwing down over here. And also, we got for people that are sort of new that are maybe catching back up, I got Paul here. He has a channel, Skyler and Friends, where he does kind of goofy videos along with his dogs, but his main message is to tell people to be themselves. And I invite you all to check out his channel. I have it listed in the description, as well as his Instagram, which we showed a little bit. He is going to be coming out with a book soon. Oh, finally, here we go. All right, so Alex has his question.
All right.
What goals did you set for yourself when you started your YouTube?
Goals for myself. I set the goal of actually uploading it because of the fear, getting over that. Actually uploading it, and then I didn't have like a lot of goals on like the numbers per se, like so many subscribers. I had a goal of like I wanted to get out good content, and every video I put out, I want it to be better than the one before it. Whether it's content better, thumbnail better, video quality better, editing better, whatever, I want to improve a little bit each time. So that would be like my initial goal was just doing it and just starting, I only have a phone. Oh, well, like start doing it. And then the second thing was to each time get a little better and just watch it back after you upload it and then be like, okay, I can fix this. fix it. Don't get overwhelmed with, oh my God, all these things are wrong. I just was like, well, I'm going to make one thing better every time.
Yeah, that's great. And I think so many, because I was talking to a mother the other day while I was running my half marathon, and she was, I forget what I was talking to her about, but we were talking about her teenagers, and I was saying, like, who are the main people they follow, and she said, oh, they're all YouTubers. So it's kind of funny how YouTubers have almost become the new celebrity out there. It's been like a new thing that young people are seeing that they can do professionally, even. And
Yeah.
I think it's really easy for, especially, I don't know if it has anything really to do with age, but I think any new YouTuber that is interested in going professional eventually and being able to monetize and make enough money to support themselves, it's really easy to get caught up in the that chasing numbers kind of phase. Now, I know on some level I do that myself, so I don't always follow my own advice, but I think Gary Vaynerchuk said it really well at one point. I don't want to paraphrase. He said something like, your first year trying to build a personal brand is put your nose down, like put your head down and just create content and don't look at the numbers for a whole year.
Yeah.
I think so many people are like making their first 2 videos and being like, where are all my subscribers? Like, I should have 100 by now.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that subscribers come with like putting your effort in and having goals like what you said, which is having your next video be better than your previous, and trying to build a community. I think for people that really want to grow their, not just grow their channel, but also have a community, like find the tribe that's really going to appreciate what they create.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, even if you're not trying to make a lot of money doing it, you still want to reach as many people as possible. So like, I'm still like doing the hashtags, looking up keywords of stuff, like the Chrome extension I have for keywords. So it shows you all the, the searches and stuff, because you want to reach as much people as you can still. It just kind of, I don't know, it just popped in my head there, but just because you're not trying to make a lot of money doing it, even like the passion should still be there to research, learn about those algorithms and everything so that you can reach more people. So some people are like, I don't care about that. Like, I just want to do it for me or to get out this message. Well, if you want the message to be heard, though, it's got to be seen. So there's a balance there. Like you were saying, you're kind of like into those things. That's good, because if you're not kind of into them, if you're not into it at all, you're never going to get anywhere, really. I mean, you're just yelling into a well, because I mean, it's like 3 days of videos are uploaded, every hour to YouTube or something like that. It's insane.
Say that last one again.
Isn't it something like 3 days of video is uploaded every hour to YouTube?
I think it's got to be more than that.
It's there's something like that. There was like insane amount. It's like you're not. Yeah, who knows? We'll have to look that up, or if someone looks it up, let us know. I know it's insane to me. So the fact of you getting found randomly, if you're not titling it correctly, putting a good thumbnail on it, keywording it correctly, niching down somewhat though, because if you're trying to get into dogs, there's way tons of them. But if you look into Chiweenie dogs on a scooter, that's a lot different. It's just, I don't know.
Oh, we get another question in there. By the way, Alex, thank you for that question. That was a good one. What is it? Oh, Jelly Duck 100 says, what language besides your native language would you like to be fluent in?
Spanish. I only had to think about that. I've been wanting to learn Spanish for a long time. I tried to teach myself on Rosetta Stone, but then when I tried it in public, I looked like a fool because of the different kind of Spanish. It was like, because there's like Mexican Spanish and then just different dialects, right? So I was like, because, so for my book, I put it into Spanish also. So I hired a translator in California as a teacher, a Spanish teacher, to translate it for me. And so it's out in Spanish. I'd love to learn how to speak and read it, so then I could read it in both languages. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I feel like have you ever heard of the app called Duolingo?
No, I don't think so.
if you want to sort of casually learn Spanish,
Mm-hmm.
one thing you can do is it's called Duolingo. It's like the app looks like a green bird or something with like a beak to it. But
Okay.
last time I checked it, I used to have it back in like 2014. I thought I was going to be working at a school that you need to learn, you need to know some Spanish for. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a good app that sort of is self-paced, and it says like, have you learned your lesson for the day? And
Yeah,
there's
that's
not,
cool.
I don't remember the speaking part of it being that great, but I remember like you can type stuff in and you can interpret back into English, and it's a pretty good app for learning a language casually. Also,
Cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
uh, Tim Ferriss is who wrote this book and a bunch of others.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
he I don't remember how many languages he's fluent in, like a handful of them, but he watches movies that he's seen in English in
Mm-hmm.
the target language that he wants to learn.
Mm.
Easier for him to, and if he puts on subtitle like English subtitles,
Yeah.
then he can follow along with the plot, and it's easier to practice and learn the words. Also, if he can hear like a Spanish version or like a whatever language is of a song that he already knows, that's another good way.
Oh, cool. That's really interesting.
Hi, Miss Kathy. Let's see. I'll put out another request if you guys have any questions. I know I got. Wait a second. I gotta pull up the questions I came earlier. Nothing's come to it. Anything you would want to share with us, or you'd want to share with the people watching? That oh, here's another one. Is I wanted to know
Okay.
about the tattoo on your arm there.
Oh, which one? The wiener dog?
Tell me which one do you like talking about more?
Well, my wiener dog is probably my favorite one. It's a cartoon version of Temperance with her helmet on.
That's awesome.
But the other one I have Boondock Saints here, and then I got it watercolored out, which is you know the movie The Boondock Saints by chance?
Yeah, I've seen that one before. Now, what is it that spoke to you enough about that movie, that picture that you wanted on you?
Well, this is going back. I got this probably 10 years ago. And I guess because at the time, like I was really close to my brothers and everything, and not having like a father since really ever, but not at all since like fourth grade. I bonded to them a lot, and the movie was like, you know, these two brothers, they take on all these bad people, you know, and just wipe everything out. So I was like, you know, it was this brotherhood kind of thing, and it was just an awesome movie. So that's why I got it.
Another question I remembered I wanted to ask. So one of my favorite go-tos for interview questions is this one we're doing, Tribe of Mentors with Tim Ferriss.
Mhm.
A bunch of Miss Kathy, I think I asked you one of the questions from here. I know I asked Clifford Starks when he was on last week. But some of my favorite questions, like the Tim Ferriss, he's been doing the Tim Ferriss podcast for over 300 episodes now. And I'm just going to straight up plagiarize some of the.
All right.
But, the first one he asked like a lot of really accomplished, like world class people is what is the book or books you've given most as a gift and why? Or what are one of the three books that have really influenced your life, not including your own?
So I didn't hear the last part of that. Yeah, the audio cut out a little bit, but basically you're saying what are like the top books that really inspire me or I love that I would want to like other people to read?
Yeah.
That's a great question. Let's see.
And if you want to,
I'm trying to remember the name of this book.
okay.
It's horrible. I loved it. It was about mindfulness meditation.
Yeah.
I cannot remember the name of it for nothing, but the overall point of that I love about it and that I want other people is like it helps you to become more in the present moment, and that's a really good lesson to learn, especially help you with patience and everything. But other than that one, having a hard time thinking of it.
Wait up. Hold on a second, Paul. I gotta pause you for a second. I don't know
Okay.
if the magic that just occurred in the chat. Miss Kathy and Jesse says, "I have a wiener dog. He is a weenie."
Oh, you have a Chiweenie too?
So one of the things I know about her channel is she does enjoy doing live streams. So I think
Oh, cool.
might really enjoy doing some sort of collaboration talking about dogs together.
Here's my Chiweenie. I have two Chiweenies and a dachshund.
And if you want to, Paul, if you want to learn more about her, I did an interview with her. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Awesome.
She's in the chat right now, and yeah, I would check her out.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll do after this is.
So you said mindfulness, or it was meditation is what the book was about.
Yeah, it's about mindful meditation.
Yep.
And yeah, other than that, I mean, I watch more inspirational videos and speeches than I do read nowadays because you can get it passively, you know, like while you're cleaning or whatever, you can have earbuds in listening to it. So I can get more done that way. So like, and for some reason I'm horrible with titles and people's names. So like I keep telling myself I am good with people's names. I'm good, you know, like trying to get myself better with that. Like, you know, I just say someone's name when I meet them like over and over and over. So I'm getting better with people's names. But that's one thing that's funny. I can remember lyrics forever. Like I can know like a whole album from back in high school, you know, but like I won't remember someone's name from last week. It makes no sense. I get the rhythm, the beat, I guess. It makes it drill into my head.
I don't know how that works, but this is a strange and crazy thing that we're able, like, I forget what song I was listening to also from high school, and I was like, wow, I still know all the lyrics to this, and I haven't sang this out loud probably for like half a decade.
Right? It's crazy.
So ridiculous. The third question Tim asked a lot of his people is, how has a failure or apparent failure set you up for later success? Do you have a favorite failure of yours?
That's a good one. Let's see, your favorite failure? Like an interview question. Favorite failure. Well, I can't think of like a favorite one right now, but I'll tell you a recent one. And I don't know if it's exactly my fault or not my fault. It had to be somewhat of my fault. You know, there's always a little bit of blame all the way around. But I was supposed to do a wiener dog race at the Cyclones event. I had my ticket 6 months in advance. Everything was prepared. I show up there early. I'm in the seats early. I have everything ready to go. They never announced, come down, you know, and evidently they had sent out a second email that like I didn't get that said at this time, come down here. Well, everyone else, all of a sudden I'm looking at the game and all of a sudden all these dogs start coming out. I'm like, what's going on? You know, like, so I start running to the stage, you know, to the ice and everything. I'm like, I didn't make it in time. People were like, oh, you know, they're like, you can make it, go ahead, you know, like blah, blah, blah. But and like I kept going, but it was way too late. I couldn't get down there, and I didn't get to do what I, you know, was planned to do. I had taken a photo shoot with her and put it on Instagram, and like so I felt like a moron because I was like, here I posted it everywhere. I was gonna video it live, you know, everything, but somehow I missed something or I wasn't given something, and I missed it. So it made me like where it was really, I was really down that evening, you know. I got a lot of good like, you know, responses, people like trying to be like, you know, blah blah blah, support, good support, and I was like, yeah, that's awesome, you know. And I was like, it's a learning lesson. It's not the end of the world, you know. I was out, you know, the time, and I had bought 5 tickets for me and my family, you know, like to go and everything, extra ticket for the dog, like, so it was a big deal. And it might sound stupid or whatever maybe, but I had put a lot of time and thought and money into this day, and but at the end of the day, like the next day, life wasn't over. It wasn't the end of the world, you know what I mean? And it made me think, well, next time I go through a big event like this, I'm gonna have a checklist, you know. So I maybe like check it over again right before I leave. I put other preventative measures so this won't happen again, hopefully in the future. So I guess that would answer your question. But
yeah,
disappointing.
The greatest teacher there is failure.
Yeah, very true.
I mean, I think there's an obvious answer to this question, but maybe give us the one that might be less obvious to us. So, what is the unusual habit or absurd thing that you love? I don't think it's absurd that you love your dog. You know?
Yeah, you're cool.
So,
absurd, like something that most people wouldn't like, or just something that like I overly zealous love.
Like one thing that I'd say that's, I mean, I don't think it's absurd, but I know it's certainly unusual is for lunch. Like I often just bring a potato with me and like a bag of broccoli, and I'll just eat the bag of broccoli, and I'll just like microwave the potato and eat it. It's great.
There you go. Yeah, I have a lot of unusual foods that I eat because it's like the allergies and stuff. So like I make my own cereal, and I eat it at least once a day, but typically twice a day I'll eat it, and it's awesome. But I eat it with almond butter, the Barney's brand, Barney's almond butter. It's so good, but I go through so many of those because it's like the only almond butter I found that's like in a dedicated peanut-free, lactose-free, factory. Because you have to worry about cross-contamination and stuff. So anyways, I go through a lot of those. It helps me keep my weight up. But that would be a weird thing as far as talking about that, like going along with what you were with the eating. But other than that, obviously, like you said, the obvious, taking crazy pictures of my dogs is probably one of those things. But other than that, I mean, I used to make a lot of stuff out of pipe cleaners. I had like baseball caps and stuff, like all made out of pipe cleaners. I have a 50-pound rubber band ball. So that is an unusual thing. I've had it since I was in the 5th grade, and just kind of added to it. So it just gets bigger and bigger. So it's pretty big. Do what?
How often do you add to it, and like what's its sort of purpose? Does it have a purpose?
Well, like I started in the 5th grade. I was sitting at my dad's house, like he was in his office, and he was on the phone. And I was waiting for him, so I just started making a rubber band ball. By the time he finally got on the phone, like it was a good size, maybe like that. So and I just kept adding to it over the years, and I find that it's really relaxing. Like it's almost like a meditation now, like where you're putting on new bands. You're making sure they're straight and making sure it stays in a circle. Yeah. So it's not like it's just a rubber band bulge, it's like a ball. And it's relaxing, kind of therapeutic. And if you don't continue to do it, it'll rot on the outside and then fall apart. And since I've had it so long, I'm like, I got to keep adding to it. But it's at the size now where it's like I pretty much need a special order rubber bands. I'm like, I don't have the extra money to special order rubber bands, So I just put them on like every great now and again now. But at one point I was putting them on really regularly. But I don't know, yeah, it's one of those weird things. If you have a rubber band ball, you know what I mean. If not, you're like, no. You want to see it?
That's good. Yeah, bring it out.
I'll show it to you. It's hard to tell like how big stuff is, and let me put the doggy down. Don't want to squish her with this thing. So here it is. So as you see, it's kind of bigger than my head, quite a bit bigger than my head.
How heavy is it?
That's 50 pounds.
50 pounds?
Yeah. Yeah, it's heavy. But yeah, it's like like you put your arms out, it's like poof.
Bouncy?
Yeah, it's super bouncy. Like I can't bounce it on my wood floor because there's a basement below. It'd probably go through. But like if you bounce it outside in the concrete, it bounces really well. It's but catching it would be a different story, of course.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, thank you. There's actually a rubber band ball group on Facebook that I'm part of. This one guy up in Cleveland has one that is 300 pounds, and it's nuts. The world record's like almost 4,000 pounds. It is insane. He was sponsored though by two people, two companies.
Yeah, probably like, was it, I don't think
$25,000 to make his. Yeah, that's a house. You know, like on well, foreclosed house or a auction house, but still, I can imagine.
Thank you, Meme and Devin Gang, for showing your support. People were sharing some failure stories in the chat.
Oh, cool. Yeah, if you can learn from your own failures or from someone else's failures, it's a great thing. It really is, because it's going to set you forward that much more.
In the last 5 years, what new belief, behavior, or habit has most improved your life?
That's a really great question. I would say mostly improved my life. Man, that I would say the habit would be putting myself out there more would be number one, because it's really helped my anxiety levels a lot. Like the more I put myself out there, the more anxious I get when I'm doing it. But then on the regular day to day, the way less anxious I am. So the more you push yourself to that thing you're afraid of, and you get closer and closer to, like, let's say the spider, you know, like closer and closer to that spider, then the more you're cool when you're not by it at all. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like just the daily act of I put myself out there every day in some way that makes me uncomfortable. Every day I get outside my comfort zone and I do at least one thing, but lately it's been a lot of things like every day that just puts me outside my comfort zone, so it helps me to grow more. So that would be a huge thing. And then two would be stretch. I stretch every day. A lot of times twice a day, but at least in the mornings, like full kind of yoga thing. Because if not, like my body just feels so tight all day, and I get a lot of like pain and stuff, anyways, from the health stuff. So it really reduces that a lot. So stretching a lot and putting yourself out there every day, doing something that makes you uncomfortable.
I think it was, I don't know if it was actually her that said it, but I think Eleanor Roosevelt. What? Eleanor Roosevelt, she said, do something you're afraid of every day. I want to say,
there you go.
Alex asked a question earlier, which was, have you ever heard J. Cole? Have you ever listened to J. Cole?
J. Cole.
He's a rapper. I'm not sure where he's from, but I want to say he's from like New Orleans or something.
I don't think so.
Or I'll do a follow-up question as, what kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to a little bit of everything, really. Anything that's upbeat. I love Michael Jackson, I love the Beatles, but I also love like 80s hair bands. I used to be in a like 80s rock and roll kind of band back in the day. Not in the 80s, obviously, I'm not that old. But so I love that. I love disco music. I love Elton John. I love the Bee Gees. It's like really a huge range. The only thing I don't like is slow, sad music. Anything else I can get down to pretty much, but mainly upbeat, positive stuff. I usually just go to Pandora and hit Michael Jackson station, and it filters through like R&B hits and pop hits and stuff like that, 70s, 80s music.
Would you be willing to hit us with some ukulele?
Do what?
Hit us with some ukulele?
Oh, let's see if it's in tune here. Is that what you said? Ukulele?
Yeah, would you play something for us? Chat.
What?
In the chat, I'm asking somebody to give us a song request for the ukulele.
Oh, I'm not that good. I'm a learner.
What do you have any songs that you do know fully?
I have songs I write. Like that's the thing. Like I have some songs like I can play on the guitar, like other people's songs, but for the most part, like when I started learning when I was 15 to play the guitar, I was like, I'm gonna dedicate to myself either to learning other people's music or creating music. I was like, I'm gonna go creating, you know. So I learned like 10 songs when I first started learning, just kind of to getting it into it, you know, learning chord progressions and stuff. But then I was like, I'm gonna spend my time writing music. I'd rather, you know, if I was gonna do it, I was like, I'd rather do it my own. Not saying anything bad about doing covers, if that's what you want to do, but personally, that's the way I was going into it, you know. So I just always like to make up my own stuff.
Can you play your own original songs for us?
Yeah. I will play the theme song for the children's book here.
Okay.
Hopefully this is in tune. Let me see. It's hard to hear it. Sounds all right. This is from 1978. This is ukulele. All right. This thing's getting in my way. I'm just gonna take this out. That's the gist of it. Since it's being a children's song, it's very repetitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just pretty much goes along with the book, Winter Dog, How'd You Get So Long?
Yeah.
How'd you get so long, oh, how'd you get so long? Then it kind of goes into a couple of the different ways that Skyler thinks that Finland got so long. But it's cute. I have like my little promotional video I did for the book, like where I was playing ukulele in the grass. I like sang some of it and then it went into it. But I get really nervous about playing instruments and stuff.
This is a great way to step you outside your comfort zone, right?
Exactly. This is true. But yeah, it's a fun little instrument to play, for sure.
How long do you think your average person can probably teach themselves how to play like their first song, maybe their first cover on ukulele?
I would say pretty quickly. If they play guitar before, it kind of backs you up, like, because these are 4 strings instead of 6 strings, and it's not just like it's different tuning than a guitar also. So it's like harder for me. It seems like getting that backwards, like, you know, unlearning that. So I would say if you haven't learned guitar, it'd be easier because you don't have that initial block. But on the other hand, it's like it's kind of easier because you are used to doing this. You know what I mean? Like somewhat. So it's kind of could go either way. But if you're good with coordination, I would say it's pretty easy because there's only 4 strings. They're nylon, so it's easier to push down versus if you're learning to play the guitar and it's like steel strings, so it's harder for your fingers. And the chords can be really basic. I mean, but yeah, I don't know. I would say a week to a few days to a week.
Interesting. Maybe that'll become a project of mine over the summer. I love teaching myself new things.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Oh, nice.
I shared with people the other day that yeah, I taught myself root.
How long? It cut out there.
About a week as well. I was
oh, really? Nice.
I'm able. When I first learned, once I got all the algorithms, I was able to 3 minutes under.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Anything else for us?
Do what?
Anything else you want to play for us?
I'm like having a brain fart. I know, like, I have a bunch of songs that I wrote, but I'm like brain farting. What was that one? I don't know. Can't think. Having one of those brain fart moments. I'm like, feels a guitar would be different. But yeah, I'm just I don't know. I have like I think five songs I've written on it that are just different kind of style. Some of them I've like put out there, like just kind of mess around online, and some not. But I like it. It's fun, and you can take it anywhere. So if you're like in the car, take it with you. You know, super easy, super tiny.
I would invite / challenge you on your channel. I know you really want your videos to be high quality, but if you were to do live stream of
Yeah,
playing songs or just like not having the greatest like production value, just
yeah,
I think people would probably enjoy that. And what I've realized is if I ever have a video that I'm not really um, proud of, like I just think like it was a sloppy live stream, like I was just chilling or hanging out and not doing anything, and I didn't really want to see people, but I didn't really want people to come to that. But at the same time, I wanted to keep whatever views or watch time it got. Is if you just put it in unlisted, find it unless they have the link for it. So
right. That's true. Yeah, and that's a great idea to get more out there.
And I remember you saying that you always wanted to make your next video better than the previous one. So
Right.
if that loophole that gets you more onto YouTube, I would invite you to use it.
Yeah. I'll have to do that.
All right, this is my. Unless people in the chat have other questions, I think this is my last question.
All right.
When you feel overwhelmed or unfocused, or have lost your focus temporarily, what?
Taking it back up. What do you when I lose my focus temporarily, and then?
Yeah, when you feel overwhelmed or unfocused or have lost your focus temporarily, what do you do?
Depending on where I'm at, but basically, usually if I'm like feel like my head's going a million miles an hour, and I'm like, I stop myself, I take a deep breath, like in, hold it, exhale, and just like if I'm like anxious, then I say like a calming like mantra kind of thing. If I'm like feeling overwhelmed, I'm like I gotta get this, then I'll do like a more of a powerful, positive kind of motivational, like self-talk kind of thing. But the first thing it starts with is I stop myself, I breathe, take a couple deep breaths, and then positive self-talk.
Do you have any like go-tos when it comes to positive self-talk? I know that oftentimes one of the things I do when I find myself really upset with something and I can't get off it is I'll sort of say to myself like, well, why are you so upset? And then I usually come back to something that I'm really committed to. Like the other day, I was really upset about an encounter I had with a student, and I was like afterwards I was just like, oh, like I can't. I'm so sad about it. Like, why am I so sad? And I said, well, in a third person, like, well, Zach, it's because you really want them to be able to feel like educated and nurtured and like happy in your class, and for them to have that experience, it hurts because that's not what you're committed to. So I'm asking myself, like, trying to go back to what the intention could be for me that would be upset. That's like usually where I try to come from.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I have like a mantra I've had for I don't know, like last 7 years. When I started back when I was like passing out and stuff, I started doing like self meditation and stuff like and the mindfulness thing. So, and one of the things that really stuck in my head, I wish I could remember the book, but was create a personal mantra with a short phrase that you can continually meditate on so that when you're in your calmest state, you're continually saying this thing. So then when you're out there and you get this horrible anxiety or you're feeling overwhelmed, then you can say that. And it's like a key thing, like almost like a self-hypnosis thing, you know, where it's like it hits you and it makes your body react to that phrase and just kind of like relax. So mine is, I'm powerful, positive, energetic, and strong. And I created it like that because like it hits a bunch of the, you know, the key points. Like I'm powerful, you know, I can overcome this. I'm, you know, I'm positive, like, you know, no negativity here. Like it's just positive energy, powerful, positive, energetic. You know, I have the energy to get through this, push on, and I'm strong. You know, it just resonated with me. So I would say like create, you know, whatever means something to you, and it's like that would be like my powerful one. You know, when I'm like overwhelmed and I need to like calm down, I have dancing in light. And like it might mean nothing to you, but to me it means something. Like through my meditation and stuff like that I've done, and like just like learning to be calm. Like one thing that calms me is light. I love bright light, and a lot of people can't stand it, but like it's just very calming to me. And which is weird because you think with as much hospital stuff been in and all the white and the bright lights, you think like I'd hate it, but like I don't know, there's just something very calming about it. So like dance, and I love dancing, like as you know, but they might not all know, but like I just like dancing and acting a fool and stuff. So dancing in light, you know, just like peaceful time. So I just take a deep breath, you know, and say one of those phrases, which depending on how I'm feeling, and go, you know, also speak or like calm down, you know.
Great. We do have another question that came in.
Hey, Mija, come here.
It's what greatest influence did you get from high school or college that helped you, or maybe even was not true? I'm not sure what that next. Oh, or any mentors.
One, that's a great question. I would say in high school, I don't think I did. Like I was kind of just acting out a lot. Unfortunately, not making excuses or anything, but like I was your typical parents got divorced, you know, dad was a preacher, you know, so I didn't want to own a rebel, etc. You know, that kind of thing. So my greatest role models were bad role models. So by going forward, like once I started to get outside and be my own person, it was just, I would say, I mean, Michael Jackson has always been a role model of mine on one hand because he was always himself, no matter what. Like he'd get called so many different things. He, you know, so many slanderous things, but he was always his weird self, you know. So I respected that, you know, and I admired that. But my mom, like going family wise, like is a huge inspiration to me because no matter, you know, what she had to deal with, you know, my dad and his family and everyone, like she's always provided for us, you know, from fifth grade onwards is just my sister, my mom and I. So you know, that would be like person I look up to the most, I would say, or, you know, love the most, inspired by the most, would be that. So here's two answers. Recently, I watch like Evan Carmichael like every day. This is my hashtag VTA92, which is 92 consecutive days making comment on his station, which just, yeah, it helps you to become like this dedicated, like every day you got to do something that gets you into that mindset. So every morning pumps out a video, watch it, hit a, you know, good motivational thing on it. So, and it helps me to start the day off with a bam, you know. He puts out 3 videos a day. It's crazy, 7 days a week. But he's huge, you know. He's got people working for him and everything. But so he's a big inspiration to me. Like we're just like he goes above and beyond on everything. Like he messages every single person that like messages him back or like makes a comment on the station. Like he'll comment back, thanks for the love, whatever. He has, I don't know, like 1.3 million or something. So. Yeah, so there's 3 people.
Yeah. Wait for it. The chat, if you guys have other questions, feel free to drop them on us. Oh, Alex says, what significance are your tattoos to you?
All right. Well, the winter dog, obviously, we talked about that. I don't know if he was there or not with that one, but the winter dog is my therapy dog, Temperance, and she rides my bike with me, so she has a little helmet on because she has one in real life. And then I got my Boondock Saints one, which represents from my time when I was really close to my brothers and everything. So I got that one. I got a Boondock Saints one on the back of my neck too, and then I have Bruce Lee on my back. And Bruce Lee represents to me just complete dedication, discipline, and determination. Like, I didn't mean for those all BDs, but they were. But Bruce Lee is just awesome. You know, he just the epitome of just self-discipline, just over and over and over. He was best, you know, in martial arts ever. I mean, I don't know if anyone really argue otherwise with that. There might be someone out there, but you know, like he was awesome, and that's where it really meant a lot to me, is like that dedication and consistency. I respect the consistency so much because it's so hard to be consistent.
That's I think one of the big challenges. Hold on, so I'm just setting up a light. It's getting dark in here.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Yeah, I also have one shamrock on my wrist here, which I'm Irish, if you can't tell. And then I got just the stars, feel like colorful stars. So the that's just representation of good luck and heritage. So yeah.
So I hope that answers your question, Alex. By the way, Alex, thank you for asking all these great questions.
For sure. But yeah, I got some new outfits for the dogs in today while you're reading through there. It's funny because they're so small. Like, even though they're extra small, I still have to hem up the pants or whatever because their legs are so short. So I got them in because this Thursday they're doing a Western event downtown Hamilton. So people will come and animals, whatever, like dressed up in Western apparel. So they're going to be sheriffs. It's gonna be hilarious.
I think maybe I'm sure I'll probably end up coming up with another question, but I think this will be the next and possibly the last one for you, unless more people in the chat have things they want to ask.
All right.
So you said before that your YouTube goals are to have your next video be better than your previous one.
Yep.
You know, myself, I'm coming from sort of a Gary Vaynerchuk standpoint, which is like just produce content, doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
But there is content that it's perfect. I mean, that was sort of my mantra going through writing my book as well. What would be something that would be on the edge of your comfort zone when it comes to your YouTube channel that all the viewers here today that have subscribed that we can hold you accountable to? They'd be like, hey, Paul, when's that thing that, like, is there something?
Yeah.
I know public accountability really helps me.
Oh yeah.
So what would you like for us to hold you accountable to?
Oh man. It's a good one. I definitely the live thing helps, like, with getting over fear, in my opinion, like, because I'm going to be doing more like book readings and stuff in person, so I need to get over any kind of stage fright, you know, kind of deal as I can be. So I'd like to do more live streams. So I would like to get to where, I don't know, I get a set schedule or whatever, like where it's like, okay, I'm going to do this once a week, go live, answer questions, whatever. Even if I start off being short, just like, hey, this happened this week, blah, blah, blah. Because it just helps me get out of my comfort zone. And yeah, it's not going to be perfect, but that's a big thing I've struggled with over my life, is like perfectionism. And that's why I didn't do anything for so long or put anything out for so long. Because, like, man, I want everything to be perfect, but it's never going to be, because you're never going to have the money to make it perfect, you know, or the tools to make it perfect. You got to start and, you know, just improve a little bit at a time. And that's like one thing that I've learned over the last several years, is like, it takes time, but time goes by really fast. So that's another double-edged sword. You know, it's like, it's good on one hand, bad on the other. You know, life goes by fast, but if you stick with something for a year, you're going to be a lot better at it, you know, and it goes by like that.
I just surpassed a whole year of making a video every single day.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's huge. That's huge. 365 videos.
I think I'm almost actually around 400 videos because there are a couple days I tried doing doubles or like
Nice.
there are a couple I took down. I don't know, there are a couple here and there that I added in, but
Yeah.
unlisted. But yeah, I think forcing myself every day to make something has been the greatest promise that I've made to myself in the past year. Obviously, besides my marriage and choosing my
Yeah.
career, but that's been the greatest growth that I've had. I think is just my ability to be uncomfortable with the content that I am about to produce, like being live, answering questions, being honest and upfront about things. It's been a huge growth period as a creator and as sort of a public speaker. And bridging off that, I want to take Gemma Grace's question here. What do you suggest to keep passionate about public speaking?
What was the question?
What do you suggest to keep passionate about public speaking?
Like to do in order to keep passionate? I would.
I think that's what she's saying. Gemma,
All right.
feel free to clarify that. She's very active in this.
All right, awesome. I would say if that's the question, then I would say knowing first off, why are you so passionate about public speaking? Like, why do you want to do it? And then two, for the reason why you do it, what is like peel back the onion, I mean, like where there's a reason you want to do it. Is it because you want to be famous? Is it because you want, and that's okay if that's what it is, but like, or is it, you want to get this message out? Maybe your grandfather suffered from something, so you want to improve lives of people that were in nursing homes, whatever it might be. Like, find the core reason, and then get either like a picture that reminds you of that, or a word or a phrase like that reminds you of that, something that really gets you, and find out what fuels you. Like when you're doing something that makes you forget about time and you're just like going into it, harness that somehow so that when you're down or like you're feeling like, oh, I don't want to do this motivational speaking thing, like, no, you do. This is why. It's not, don't let yourself take like a bull crap excuse, out of the air, like, but it's not good enough. Like, this person does it better than I do. Like, their story's better than mine. I didn't lose my legs, or whatever. Like, don't degrade your story because someone else's seems harsher. You don't have to minimize your own just because someone seems greater to you, because someone else is not going to relate to that, but they might relate to you.
Right.
So I guess just find your core reason of why, and a way to remind yourself of that when you're not in that mindset.
Yeah, I would say I totally agree with that because I think when I always am a little bit, and absolutely no offense against you, Gemma, I think I think one of the challenges for me when I hear people here talk about like being motivated is I feel like motivation is really never the issue. I think that the only thing that keeps people motivated is a strong calling or a strong intention behind doing something. So I think people say like, what do you do to stay motivated? It's I always feel like the answer is never quite what they're looking for when they ask that question.
Yeah.
More about what do I do to stay inspired, and the inspiration I think usually comes from a vision about something. So I mean, I would love to do some public speaking. I really enjoy doing a TEDx talk, and I guess live streaming sort of is that every day. But
yeah, absolutely. The publicist. Yeah. That's not a word, but you know what I mean. But you could potentially reach 1 billion people, like.
I think knowing that my daily vision is that I'm helping to free people up from whatever thoughts that are oppressing them at the moment, or getting people like not. I feel like people are always in their heads, and that's when they get stressed. And
oh yeah,
yourself out of your head, or acknowledge what's going on inside your head, so that you can acknowledge that that's all that is. That's really my mission, is to bring a no-nonsense, like really practical, exemplified version of mindfulness to people every day, because I think that's something that's made a huge impact in my life since 2013.
That's awesome.
every day when I go onto the YouTube channel. That's what I'm trying to bring. That's motivation in itself.
Yeah.
The vision of that happening.
Yeah, and that's an awesome vision because it's an unfolding one. It's not like a long dream down the road. Like it's one that you can see unfolding as it comes. You know what I mean? You can start to see things. And versus like I want this one thing, and until I get it, I'm miserable. You know, I think it's so important to have goals like that, or like have the inspiration. So it's not just attaining this one thing, but it's the whole mission is the dream. Is that's awesome.
So Alex dropped a pretty deep quote into here. The successful design is not the achievement of perfection, but the minimization and accommodation of imperfection, by Henry Petrosky. I'm gonna have to read that like 3 times to myself.
Yeah.
Good design is not the achievement of perfection, but the minimization and accommodation of imperfection. Oh, I see that. Now I'm curious, Alex, when you dropped that in there, what was the main thing you really wanted to share with us? Because I know exactly what you're talking about. As an engineer, I took human factors in college, and I really learned that oftentimes when people are doing things wrong, it's not because they're dumb, it's because things were designed poorly. So I'm wondering what you're referring to, like if there is something, trying to think if there is something we were talking about that was relating to good or bad design.
Well, we are designed to kind of see the bad and fear pain. You know, as soon as we fear pain or feel pain or whatever, we're taught like naturally, like go away from it. You know, run. You know, fight or flight kind of thing. So sometimes we gotta stop that natural instinct when we're wanting to expand and go outside of our comfort zone. We're creatures of habit, that's for sure.
Gemma Grace just said, you're more natural at it, I think. I'm saying that. Don't be fooled. It takes a lot of practice. Well, any questions that you have for the people in the chat or that you have for me, Paul?
Yeah, actually, I've got one for everyone watching is, what is, like, after watching all this, like, if you have any ideas for videos or anything that you would be interested in, comment down below, let me know. Or if you have any other questions or, like, suggestions, let me know. I'm here to help and answer whatever.
Abstract Possibility says, I have another comment. Talk to you later. It's been a great stream. Good luck in all you do at Skyler.
Thank you.
It says, I'm not being fooled, but I understand, I think. We'll give that a minute to see if anyone has any questions for you, but I'm really glad I had you on.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. You were fun to talk with, and I think you should definitely do a collaboration with Miss Kathy. I should talk it over about dogs.
Awesome. Yeah, that'd be great.
You get some people interested in your book.
Cool.
That's available. You'll have to send me.
Yeah.
Are there pre-orders available?
Yeah, it's available for pre-order now. www.weinerdogbook.com.
www.weinerdogbook.com. Yep. Weinerdogbook.
Yep, weinerdogbook.com. See, right there.
Oh yeah, that helps me spell it because I definitely switched that.
Yeah, WIENER, Wiener Dog Book. But yeah, and then like I said, by the end of the week, I'll be ordering my physical proofs to get them in, and then I can go over it, make sure everything's good to go. No like little margins need to be adjusted or anything, and then it'll be launched, ready to go. Anyone that pre-orders them, I'm doing little autographs with Temperance or Mija, like with their little paws, putting the little paw prints on it and signing it. And they get little stickers and stuff. So, and then I'll be mailing those out. They have a soft cover and hard cover, and then also, like I said, Spanish edition also. So I wanted to I have a big Spanish area where I live. Like there's a lot of Spanish speaking people, and there didn't seem to be a lot of Spanish speaking children's books in the library locally. So it's like, well, this would be a great addition to that. And I hadn't seen a lot of other children's books do it, and I'm sure they're out there, but I'm just saying locally. So that's why I added that onto it.
People in the chat, I just put the website into the description.
Awesome.
There if you want. Paul,
Yep.
I don't see any other questions in the chat. For those of you that have stayed around, I hope you hit the like button or the dislike button if you want. Share it with someone that has a wiener dog that that might enjoy learning about the book. There's something else I was going to say. Oh, you know, check out Paul's channel if it's something you think you would enjoy. You know, I'm not really a wiener dog person. I wouldn't describe myself as someone that is drawn to dog videos, but I've really enjoyed him, and I would say the thing that makes us in the genre together, I would say, is similar to what you had said before, that we're like-hearted, and push people outside their comfort zones, be joyful, be themselves, and thank you all for watching. And,
definitely, thank you.
What to say last?
Do what?
You remember what to say last?
Yeah, stay weird.
Oh yeah!
What do we do? Stay weird.